Because if you send, for example, an email to Greg,
Don't email Greg.
he might not forward it to me, or he just like mentioned it to me, and I forget about it, and it never gets addressed, right? So in the forum, I get an email about that, and then at least it's on.
Also, if it comes from you guys, it's much more likely to get fixed than if it comes from
Right. For the most part, I ignore Greg.
Most people ignore me.
No. So, and then the last thing for me is I tried to like set up a simple survey. Actually, I printed it out really old school, and I would like you to fill it out. It's mostly just yes and no, but for almost anything you can add a comment. So if that's the easiest way for rapidly communicating right now during this workshop, I guess. So you can fill out this survey, and you can give it back at the end of the workshop. So it's not like you have half an hour and then I want everything back. So use that to just take notes about whatever comes up. If you have questions, that is in some way software related. I asked you to put the name on there. Just if you don't want to, it's fine. But if you put your name on there, it's easier for me to know who actually asked the question, and we can get in touch. If there's, let's say, a good idea, and I don't know what the idea was about, and I have further questions. So I will hand this out later. And that's actually it from my side. So I think we can move on to Manuel. Greg, do you want to?
Yeah.
Him up
Sure.
here, or?
Bring up Manuel.
Hey, Manuel.
Hi guys.
You have to be very quiet. Can you turn the sound up for me?
Yeah.
That's alright.
Are you okay with
Just make sure to turn him up a lot. So
It's maxed out.
Hey, Manuel, it's Matt. Thanks for your help last week.
Hey man.
I was really worried.
Yeah, I hope it's all fine now. We had some tough moments with the data on our 40. But yeah, good to see you.
And Manuel, we have a fellow Swiss here.
Hello,
Oh, we do. Fantastic. Who is it?
it's Mark.
You don't know Mark?
Oh my God.
It's a small country.
It's not that small country.
Anyway.
So I'm not sure if you're from Romandy or from the German speaking.
I'm from Zurich.
But I'm able to communicate well with Sebastian, so.
Yeah, I'm from Zurich.
Okay, guys. Oh, from Zurich. Okay, Zurich. Music for Monday. Okay, but I guess I just want to say a few things about the Android application on the PhotosynQ project. So, most probably some of you, maybe even all of you, have had a chance to get a look at the application. Maybe have a chance to play around with it, collect some data. I know Matt has, because Matt has like thousands of data points.
They're not all good though. There hasn't been any flagging go on yet.
Yeah, all right. That's a relief. So, well, yeah. Basically, I wanted to introduce myself. We are working on the Android application. We're based in Switzerland. The team is Andreas Rudolph and me. We're trying to get you the best experience from a user interface standpoint. So we're having a lot of work focused on that. So you guys can collect data without hassle. We're working very closely with Greg, Sebastian, and Pro to give you like the most optimal process of collecting data points, answering questions, structuring questions, ordering questions, and so on. So the main area of focus we had on the Android application is building a connection over Bluetooth with the device, making sure that we get valid data, then there's no error in data, so we have an underlying protocol that checks for errors. And being able at the end to manage this data, which is like, it sounds maybe very simple, however, you want to be sure that if you collect data like wild, like mad, that at the end, if you screw something up, not all your data is lost. So like a lot of thought has gone into making sure that, you know, if you fiddle around with the app, that you uninstall it, reinstall it, change usernames and so on, that the underlying data is still there. I want to quickly touch on what we're going to focus on next. Like the big part of what's coming is stability. So getting the app out to you guys already allows us to get a lot of feedback, and there's like two main issues that we're trying to you know, prioritize on in terms of, you know, how we handle the data, how we upload the data, what happens when the user logs out and logs back in, data vanishes and so on. So we're focusing on stability, that's the first one. And then further down the road, we have a lot of features that we want to implement also in the Android application. Basically, we wanted to have it at a point where you don't even need to use a laptop, that you can do most of the things that you want to do with measurements and communication, you can do it on the Android app. So that's our main goal. And this includes, for instance, keeping the firmware up to date on your multi-spec device, or on your Coral spec device, or on, you know, further spec devices. And yeah, so we are very happy that we get this application out to such a broad user base and getting a ton of feedback. Because in this case, we want to make sure that we don't disconnect from the users, but that we have like a straight connection with the user to see what they want. Because what you're seeing now in the application, a lot of it is, hey, you know, what would make sense for our users? You know, how should we go about this? And within the past 4 weeks, I would say, we get a lot of feedback in terms of how users actually use the application and what they would like to see where the Android application is used.
Yeah, and I would add that
So,
for anybody who's used the Android app over the course of like a year or two, maybe you haven't noticed, but I certainly noticed as a user that in the last like 8 months, stability has improved dramatically. The number of lost connections has decreased dramatically. I don't know if you've experienced that, but there was a big change in the app about 8 months ago, and that was really because of these guys taking it on, reworking the app, adding these CRC checks to make sure that data isn't lost in the way, all that kind of stuff. So the new measurement feature that we went through, where it saves measurements and then you can choose to upload or not, all of that stuff was added by these. So I think they've done a really great job. So thanks.
Just a bit of feedback. I'm interested to know the progress of each measurement as I'm taking it. So at the moment it just spins around in a circle. It'd be really good if it could show me like 1 to 10, like where I'm at. Especially with the CO2 measure, because my phone times out. I'm taking CO2 over 5 minutes and my phone keeps timing out. The way I've been doing it at the moment is I start the measurement and then I basically have to look at the time on my phone and say, okay, it's 12 o'clock. I need to come back at 12:05 because I'm like time sensitive with some of these jobs. I need to get it done as quickly as possible, but I need to not waste my time and not take the measurement. A couple of the CO2 measures I've taken and then it hasn't actually worked, and I've sort of wasted 5 minutes, and then my phone times out, the multi-spec goes off. So if I could actually look at my phone and see that I'm halfway through, you know, each measurement, that would be really handy.
we are working on that. We hear you. I absolutely agree. That's one of the most important topics we're working on right now. For that, we need the streaming JSON parser, and it's on our list. It's really high on our list, and we hear you. We're going to be done.
Maybe it doesn't have to be so precise.
I completely agree. Like currently, like some drawbacks we have focusing on many other parts of the application is we need to come now back and show all the various parts we already implemented somewhere along. And one of them definitely is progress during measurements. And also if you want to, I'm not sure, like it probably is not the default case for measurements, but there's times where you want to run a couple of different protocols in the same measurement. So even for that, we need a progress, which protocol is actually run. And as you say, there's not only like in the CO2 measurement, there's other measurements, for instance, also for soil, where you have where you're monitoring activity for a much longer period of time. So yes, absolutely, this is on our list, and we're going to address it.
All right, well, thanks, Manuel.
Maybe something entertaining on that weight screen.
Maybe something.
Something entertaining, you said. Like,
And I'm not so sure if that measurement time has to be ultra precise. So without even having a connection device,
You usually should see like, oh, there's actually data coming. Because if the device encounters a problem,
fake it till you make it.
or instability of voltage or whatever, and you're just sitting in front of the screen and nothing comes in, and you're just waiting forever, that's really frustrating. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't need to be ultra precise. I think it just needs to verify that the device is, it's like a keep alive,
right,
Hey, I'm still alive, sending you data.
right,
So,
yeah.
And
Well-
just one other thing, the GPS stamp,
yeah.
sometimes like my tree is out in the middle of the road or across the street. I don't know how, later on how accurate that could be, but for me, if it could become that accurate that I could see the measurement on the particular tree, like in a quadrant, like north, east, west, south, I don't know if that's possible in the future for the accuracy there, but if that was the case, that would be brilliant.
That's probably the phone.
Yeah.
No
So
phone, is
basically
it?
what we're using now is
phone.
GPS accuracy. And it depends on your device. Like
Right.
that's at the moment this is a bit black magic. But basically we're registering for updates on GPS location. And we are just the only thing that we're doing at the moment is if the accuracy is below 100 meters, in the measurement itself, we will display you a warning saying, hey, your measurement is inaccurate. So our vision for moving forward is to be more transparent about the accuracy of the actual GPS measurement. Because the data has actually enclosed the accuracy. So you will get the information, accuracy 50 meters or 20 meters or 100 meters. We're just not very verbose about that at the moment.
What's
This
best
is
phone?
something we are also working on, and ideally we would have something in the protocol that says, hey, we don't even want measurements that are more inaccurate than 100 meters, because it's of no use for us. So that's an additional component. That's more it's a bit further away on the horizon, but this is how we figured it would make most sense for some of the projects.
So I'm using I'm using a Samsung S4. So do we know what the best phone is for GPS accuracy to use with the PhotosynQ
I
platform?
have one remark. So the US government doesn't want commercially available GPS to be more precise than probably like 10 meters.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want, it won't be more precise.
Right.
Yeah.
So depending on what tree you're looking at, that can be far off. So you can do whatever, it doesn't matter, it won't get better unless
So-
you buy something that is high precision GPS.
But something did change, which was improved in the past. Sometimes the phone would flip from GPS to the closest IP connection point, and you'd get these data points which are like a mile away.
Yeah.
And that's been addressed because of what Manuel said by saying like, hey, this is quite a bit off. So he's improved the phone's selection of the correct data point, and then he's informing you when it's really far away. but yeah, within that sort of 10-meter accuracy level, there's just a certain amount of noise, basically. I don't know if that's.
I'm actually
Yeah.
using a Nexus 5X, and I'm getting GPS inside an airplane. So I think that phone has pretty much down. It's the first phone I can use in an airplane that gives me GPS data. So
Pretty good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry, mate, that's a
Just
Nexus
5X.
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 But let's keep rolling along to make sure we have time. But if there's also, I think I think on Sebastian's sheet, if you want to, if you have suggestions or things, right? That would be the place to put it. Is that right, Sebastian? Great. So, cool. All right. Well, thanks, Manuel. So.
Thank you guys. I wish you a fantastic event. I hope you're having a lot of fun and a lot of data to collect.
Data we have.
On the
Coffee.
website side, do you guys have any questions, problems I can answer or go through our next plan? Yep.
Hello, Craig this one, but he said that there's a new data cleaning feature I didn't catch yesterday, so I don't know if you revealed it back.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
You mentioned something about like a new data cleaning feature on the website, or is that like upcoming?
So it's a combination of discussions we had. So we were gonna do give alerts when you take the data, whether it's
Warnings
matches
and
the
dangers. Yeah.
range, so then you can accept it. Or on the Data Explorer side, you can filter through the ranges, flag it, and take it out.
What about data collection for dummies? So you could just press a button and you have it set, set parameters already, you guys select, that I can just go bang, I can just load something up and then go, data cleaning for dummies, bang, and it'll take out those, those really far out, LEF over MPQT measures that shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
Good idea.
I feel that's a really good point, because we are moving towards that. Initially, when we had this back-end architecture, we were not pre-processing the data on the server side, because we had when we were doing that, we had no clue what the data means.
Yeah.
So with the next release that Sebastian showed us, we are now pre-processing the data. Now we can look at data more intelligently. So we can say, okay, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, before we present you the data.
Yeah.
Then that way, we're getting very, very close to having more intelligent putting into the data analysis. We had a discussion, I think Dave is working on bringing in machine learning as well as to the backend. So we're trying out various advanced options now, because now we have process data on the server side and we understand what data is, not just the readings. How many, on average, how many projects you guys have worked on, just to get an idea? You're done? One?
Yesterday.
Two today?
One yesterday.
What about you? Do you just have one?
Okay,
Three.
so
Okay. Three.
do you actually go into the Data Explorer and look at your data, or what's your experience?
Sometimes I do, and usually if there's like if the machine gives me a feedback, say, give me that they're getting an error and it's and then I know the really early data, there was two parameters that can graph to each other, and points kind of can deal with all the points assigned. The ones that were kind of outliers, then I covered them that way. But then after another update on the website, those parameters were not there anymore. So now I just kind of go through and I have a rough idea of what ranges are acceptable. And then sometimes if I'm trying to do regression or anything, I just draw a handful of orders and see which is the So that's the exception.
And your goal is to analyze the data on the website?
No, I download it and then I analyze it.
Other programs?
I think some sort of big brother program would be good. I'm collecting data, but I just don't know what to look at. I don't know. I'm still learning.
Okay.
So, you know, and look, Dan's been helping me and Greg, but I think in the future, like when it takes off, I'd like to be that person for someone else down the track. And
So-
for my industry, you're going to need that. Like there'll be loads of people that are just really excited about getting at it. They just won't know what they're doing.
Okay.
And if they have someone where they just like join a group and have a big brother than say, look, I'm out, you know, I've taken heaps of measures. This is what I would want to look at and understand. And then for someone to say, you know, this is how you should start to look. You know, like I was just saying before, you know, what are the first 5 things I should be looking at in order? Just so I can start, because there's so much to look at.
Actually, right now, you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you want somebody that totally have no idea coming in, looking at some steps and say, here, get started.
Yeah. Because you want them to go out and just start collecting data, like
Yeah.
just go and do it,
Yeah.
not lose interest.
Another feature we are validating now is what we call the community is the right thing. The feature that we are trying to do. So we're going to set up, it's more like parent projects that we set up, okay, these are the steps, these are the protocols, these are the questions you want to answer. Then you will take it as a template and start your project. So,
Global plant sensors.
so what that will help us and you to do is then you start with this parent projects and then people, you know, taking that and creating their own projects. You can now analyze data across projects because they are kind of following the same structure, same protocols, maybe different questions. So that's the direction we are going. We have this whole list of features. Now we are trying to figure out, okay, what will be the next release. So as a lot of the features that people ask, like downloading data, uploading custom data, improving the speed when you're doing data analysis, that was the feature set we are going to release next. After that, I think the community is more of a data cleaning, telling you, okay, what's in the range, what's looks like outlier, all that. Like we are trying to figure out which one is most important. So the survey is important to fill out and give it to us so we can make an informed decision. So yeah, I'm really excited for the next phase because the area I'm looking at is like prediction, like taking all your data and how you make decisions using machine learning and data analysis. So my background is that. But this is a very key feature to getting clean data, the sensor. Then after that we can get all the unstructured data, like weather, everything, and then lay on top of it and see how these things are behaving differently. So I'm pretty excited for the next thing. Any other questions?
That's the problem.